Hi, in this class we'll discuss how to use Gradle to manage building, testing and deploying your Java application. We'll take a look at various aspects of Gradle, such as how tasks work, and we'll also take a look at how we can use Gradle with a build tool such as JetBrains TeamCity. In this chapter, we'll compare Gradle to Ant and Maven and see why I think Gradle's a better choice. We'll take a look at how we install Gradle, and there are several ways of doing this, and we'll take a look at each of those options. We'll write a simple build file and see how Gradle works with that build file. We'll also take a look briefly at something called the Gradle wrapper and see how that plays into the Gradle ecosystem. And finally, we'll take a look at how Gradle manages inputs and outputs and allows us to do incremental builds. Before we get into the details of Gradle, let's take a quick look at what we think it is. Gradle offers us something called build by convention. So, like Maven, Gradle has a bunch of built-in conventions that we can follow when we do the build. And this allows other developers who are also using Gradle to understand our builds. However, these conventions are easily overridable, and we'll see some of this during the class. Gradle is written in Java, but the build language is a DSL, a domain-specific language that's written in Groovy. And this language makes it very easy to configure our builds. So we're not writing in XML, we're writing in a language that's specific to our build. It supports dependencies. So just like Maven supports dependencies, Gradle also supports dependencies. And it supports both Ivy and Maven dependencies. We also have out-of-the-box support for multi-project builds. So if you have an application that requires many different projects to build, Gradle supports that very easily. And again, we'll see this later in the class. And while we're here, Gradle also allows us to build things other than Java projects. So if you want to manage your JavaScript projects or your C++ projects, Gradle will let you do that as well. Gradle is also highly customizable. And again, we'll see this as we go through the rest of this class. So what else? So Gradle has this declarative build language, and the declarative build language expresses the intent of the build. So we tell Gradle what we'd like to happen, not how we would like it to happen. This makes the build scripts relatively easy to read, certainly compared to an Ant build script or a Maven build script, which are written in XML, and where we tell Ant and Maven what to do. Gradle is much easier to understand than either of those two build tools. This also makes it highly maintainable. Gradle build scripts are readable, understandable, and therefore very maintainable.